Hola mi gente, it's Mel, your funky witchy transmission channel, and I'm coming at you with another reading for today. I have my cope cards here, my psychological association cards that I love using in my readings, and we just had the beginning of a fire horse here. We had a new moon in Aquarius, an eclipse. Now we've had the Saturn Neptune conjunction in Aries, and we could say that we're entering a new era. So I want to see what's happening for our collective. Let's say this upcoming week and see what we have in store here. What do we need to know? What is the general energy that is happening for us, and how can we best use it? All right, if you feel like hanging out and watching, you're welcome to. Be happy to have you. All right, let's see what we got. Spirit, what is, oh, we got one coming out. What's in store for our collective? Beginning of this energetic new year. There we go. Okay. All right. I'll show you one by one. Got this one. This one. And this one. Picante. Okay, so when I look at this, I immediately get that it's a time for us to write our ideas down. It seems with this card in particular that there's something about getting clear on what ideas you have, on how you want to move forward, on what steps, what action steps do you want to take. Right now, we're entering an era where a lot of fire energy is moving through us, a lot of impulse is moving through us. And as we progress through the next week or so, I feel like we're going to have a lot of things surge that have been maybe sort of buried underneath. That's what I'm getting with this card. It's really interesting. There's a man here, I don't know if you can see it, and he's kind of holding someone down. So I feel like maybe there's something, a voice inside of you. This person is being strangled by the neck. Maybe there's a voice inside of you, something that you've been wanting to share or communicate with the world that you've been keeping in, and this is a good time to start investigating what that is, to start writing it out, right? To start figuring out what are those ideas, what are those parts of me that I want to communicate with the world, but I haven't been because maybe another part of me or somebody external, it could be a system, it could be a person in your life, but I'm hearing that it's more of an inner voice that you've been silencing yourself in some way or form. And so right now you're being asked to investigate what that is, to look into it, right? And I feel like that as you do that, there are parts of you that are going to want to run away, okay? I feel like these are the inner parts of you. It could also be people in your life that are going to have different reactions and responses to what it is that you're trying to communicate, right? To this new version of yourself. The last year of the snake, it was all about shedding. It was a lot about letting go of the layers that were covering us. But it seems like now we're coming into this place of like, wait, what about me? Which part of me am I scared to show? Because if I do, everybody will have a reaction. And some people might go running in the opposite direction, what I'm getting with this card. Some people are going in the opposite direction, right? But some people are actually walking towards this light, this new form of yourself that you're expressing, right? There's something here that is coming out quite clearly in like a potent way, and this can bring people together and scare some people away. So I feel like if you're scaring people away with this new version of yourself that you are showing up as, then maybe you need to investigate for yourself whether or not those people are actually meant to stay. Chances are they're probably not if they're walking away. Okay, let's see what's next. All right, what else, Spirit? What else do we need to know? As always with these readings, these are interpretation cards, so these are my interpretations, but feel free to make your own on them, right? This is a matter of individuality. As a collective reading, it's not going to be the same for everybody. Okay. We've got beautiful landscape coming out here, and oh, more beautiful landscapes. What else? of these? Huh? Just the bottom one? Okay. Yeah, so we have a lot of beautiful landscapes coming out here. And you're not alone. So I feel like with this expression, as I just said, some people will walk away from this new expression of yours, right? This new way of being. But at the same time, what I'm getting is that there will be a great sense of serenity that's coming with this. It's almost like the sun is setting on the horizon. And when the sun sets on the horizon, it welcomes in the darkness, right? And in the darkness, oftentimes we can feel lost. We can feel like we're not sure what the pathway is forward. But with this card, what I'm getting is that there's a serenity as the sun sets, also with these colors, right? There's something in this card that says, when you express that part of yourself, when you show up in that way, when you allow the suppressed parts to come out, you allow for more expansion in yourself. You allow for more peace in yourself, okay? Because what we have here, especially with this card, look at that. Like literally, you can't make it up. This is the peaceful, most peaceful environment, right? There's a sense of you being connected with something greater than yourself, with a higher self. This could be your higher self, but it could also just be nature. It could be the forces that govern this world, right? It could be just your environments, but there's a bigger sense of peace that comes in the moment that you allow yourself to step out, okay? This is really important. And by stepping out and letting this peace come in, I feel like you're also attracting the people, and it's funny, I had this for a reading lately as well. You're attracting the people that are sort of going through the same process. When you look at these two women, right, they're dressed the same. They have a similar physical aesthetic. They're carrying the buckets, right? And what I'm getting with this card is that by taking that space, by coming into peace, into greater union with yourself and greater harmony with yourself, you're automatically attracting and drawing in the people that are going to be carrying their own load, and they are going to be carrying their load and not yours, but they are with you on the path. They are joining you. They are, maybe they are these people, the ones that are gravitating towards you, right? Okay. So I want to know what will be helpful, what's going to be helpful for you right now in order to hold this process. What do you need to anchor in apart from nature and spirit? What do they need to? Okay. Look at that. I would say community, probably. So you have these two. And these two came out on the side as well. Really interesting. We're going to take a look at that one by one. So I feel like what's going to help you right now is connecting with your inner child, is what I'm getting with here, and with your own inner guidance. I feel like connecting with playfulness, connecting as well with community. This is really important. And I feel like this is coming up as a theme. We've just come out of Aquarius season, and Aquarius season was a lot about us inspecting our community, our friendships, our networks, our causes, the things that we want to support in this life, and finding people that are in alignment with us to do this, right? So what I'm getting with this card is, with both of these actually, is that there's this sense of allowing this process to be joyful, allowing yourself to be a guide to your own inner child, but also finding others who are, again, in this process with you, right? And sharing. There's something so particularly powerful these days about sharing in your communities about what you are experiencing, about the sensation of suppression that you might be having, right? And perhaps also of collaborating. I'm getting a lot with this card, the collaboration spirit. So there seems to be something here about what will support you is to really not do this in isolation. So especially after following a period of connection on your own with nature, with spirit, with your inner guidance, right? With the timing of life. It's like we need to go inward at first And then from that place, we seek out the external, right? And we seek out those who are in alignment with us, those who will understand and speak our same language, right? I'm saying right a lot. Habit of Mel. Anyway, what I'm also getting here, that it's interesting, we have here again this symbol of carrying the weight that we had with the buckets, right? So there's some sensation of you are carrying your own weight. And there again, there are other people that are with you on this path that are carrying their own weight. And what I love about this card is that she's a sage. She's an elder woman. You can tell by the posture, there's something about her that is a bit weary, a bit tired, but there is a journey that is happening. And I feel like anchoring into following the movement and taking the lessons, taking the things that you have learned about yourself, about life, the things that you have integrated along the path, right? Like this baggage that you carry, with just necessities. Because if I look at this, she's not overly charged. In fact, there's a mountain here of things that feel like these could even be things from the past that don't belong anymore, that you don't need to carry along with you, with your own little bag of lessons and integrated lessons and knowledge about yourself. You're ready to move forward. And as you do this allowing yourself to carry onwards, knowing that there are, again, people behind you that are strengthening you. Okay, I'm gonna look at this card. A little mate, Argentinian national beverage. That's what we do over here. So I find this card really interesting because it expresses worry, right? It expresses worry. But what I'm getting is to not worry so much. I feel like a lot of you spent the majority of last year worrying a lot. I could say this was even true for myself to some extent, that there was a lot of worrying. There was a lot of breaking our heads about, okay, how are we getting from A to B? How are we doing this? What's coming next? I feel like when I look in her eyes, there is this general worry about the future. And every time I look at this card, I get this image from the book Grapes of Wrath from John Steinbeck. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but in Grapes of Wrath, it tells the story of a family in the 20s that is journeying across the United States, and they are trying to get to California where they can pick grapefruit and make a living, right? And it's this bigger family with a bunch of kids and everything, and there's always these scenes where you pick up on the children being playful and just kind of going along for the journey and the adventure, but it's the adults in the book that have this worry that they're carrying with them, this weight, this heaviness. And so I feel like here you're being asked to release that, to acknowledge that it's there, that the uncertainty as to where this new development is leading you will be there, but you don't need to anchor in that so much. Okay, what else? What else do we need to know? What else do we need to know? Bottom of the deck, okay. 2. Yeah. Oh my God, okay. So we have this and this at the bottom of the deck. And then this. This card has been coming out so much in my readings lately. It is insane. I feel like we are constantly being called into connection with our ancestry. And again, here we have this: listen to your heart. Listen to the music. Listen to the beat of what is inside of you. I love this card so, so much. So when you look at her, there is a tenderness in this card. Some people interpret this card as sad. Personally, I don't see it. I don't see sadness in it. I see the spirit of a person who has decided to close their eyes to the external stimuli, which is a lot at the moment. The world is in a really intensely transformational place. There's a lot happening to our systems and our structures that are collapsing. And here we're being asked to ground, number one, sitting on the earth, right? To ground ourselves, sit down, calm your system, and go inward. This pose of going inward is really like a bowing of the head to the heart and listening to the heart, right? Listening to the music of what is inside of me when I close my eyes, right? And you could even do this for a second to take a moment and close your eyes and see what you feel that is different to when you have your eyes open, right? And you're going to notice maybe even a little minimal shift, something that, oh, a little tweak, a little, maybe it's something in your body that is aching, or maybe you hear a song all of a sudden, right? So maybe consciously taking time right now to listen to what it is that really wants to come through for us. And I feel like for a lot of you, it is connected to grief. There is some grief. There's something that you're letting go. This might be something from your childhood. It might be, again, we have the children here as well. So there is something here perhaps about your childhood that you're carrying around, an old version of you, an old pain. It could be tied to this sensation of that voice that's strangling yourself, where something wants to be expressed, something wants to be shared. Perhaps it's about vulnerability. I feel like for some of you, it might be the child in you that never got to receive a certain type of care and support, or that felt very alone. For some of you, it might even be related to themes of death and of transitional nature of life. So things passing and feeling like, oh, I can't let it go, or why does this need to end? But everything needs to end in order for something new to be born. So if there are parts of you that you are terrified of letting go, just trust that they need to end. They need to round off in order for you to be able to let them go. Okay. And then with this card again, I feel like we're being asked to really connect with something higher than ourselves. It's the same feeling that I get with this card. There is something here. Let me put them together. There is an element of wisdom. There is an element of knowledge and higher knowledge about the pathway that we are transitioning, not only as individuals, but as a collective right now. That is, how do I say it? It's like, it's written in the stones already. It's already been carved to a certain extent. It's almost like our ancestors have been carving this path for us. And if we look at the world right now, we will see that we are experiencing a generational collective sort of revival of past traumas, right? The world is experiencing a lot of things, again, that our ancestors experienced. For us to be able to step into that storyline different. Again, the storyline, the message here coming through, something new wants to be written. This is very important. And for something new to be written, we need to be able to develop the capacity to deeply listen. To listen, what is the story? To look, to connect, to really be with ourselves, with each other, and with our environment in a way that is slower and deeper than what we're used to. And that might be hard for some of you, because right now we're going to have this very fiery, impulsive energy, right? But there is a very clear guidance here for taking the time to anchor before you can expand fully, right? If you think about it, we need to contract before we can expand. So there's something here about going inward so that we can stretch outward. Okay, I'm going to pull a last card. For final guidance. What is the final guidance, Spirit? What does... Yeah, so with the final guidance, again, I'm getting like it's season. A lot of you that are going to be watching this are in the Northern Hemisphere. So it's a bare season right now still. Everything has been stripped bare. And something that is very beautiful about the winter is that when the trees are stripped bare, you can see the structure more clearly. You can see the foundations upon which something has been built more clearly. And here, it's almost like because the trees are bare, we can actually see the bird perched on there much more clear. If this were full of leaves, this bird would be hiding, right? We wouldn't be able to see it. But because it's not, we can see very clearly where we are and maybe where we want to go with this bird flying up here, or what are the other birds, who are the other birds that are up there where we want to be. And I feel like, again, this is this time of pause, observe, look with clarity at what is there right now, and observe what foundation is broken, what bridge that you built, what foundation here is broken. There's water, there's a boat, and you, again, are not alone. This is the overall theme, is that you are not alone. We are collectively going through this. So while this is a time right now to inspect your structure clearly, to inspect your tree clearly, right? Again, we have Saturn and Neptune. Saturn is a lot about structure, karma, responsibility, right? And we have that going in conjunction with Neptune, which is the dreams, the illusions, everything. They're going together in Aries, which is forward movement. So again, there's this moment of stop, look, be clear in what you see, acknowledge yourself clearly, and then take the time to let the leaves fall, right? Take the time to find the collaborators, find the people in your community that are going through the same thing, that are understanding you in the same way. 22:44 on the clock. And make sure that you allow yourself to step into that boat and transition into a new place. Do not hold on to the bridges that are broken. This is absolutely necessary right now. If a bridge has broken, especially with the eclipse, allow it to be so. Know that there is a body of water underneath with a boat, with somebody else who is willing to row into a new territory with you. Okay? My loves, that's all for now. I hope this resonated with you. If it did, like, comment, subscribe, and you can get more readings like this. Share this with a friend. This is the best way to help my channel grow. Yeah, I'm sending you so much love. If you want a personal reading, shoot me a message, an email, and have a beautiful Sunday. Bye.